What's up, guys? How you doing? We've got the next round, double matchup of this tournament. We are officially live, kicking it off. We got Crown Jewel coming up on Thursday. You know, the main show will be talking about that. Also, other than that, these two guys are amazing people. Drew went black for a second. There you go. Other than that, you know, the underdog and the Omega, everything has to be perfect for, you know, the head of the table still, kind of, sort of. I'll take it like that. We always got problems somehow, right? It always happens.
Back in the mix.
All right, so we got a lot of stuff. Crown Jewel, like I said, is coming up soon.
Hello. Oh.
First penalty against the Colts.
You got to turn down Pat. Yeah, I can hear you, Pat. You got to cut that audio
for some reason.
Gotcha.
I'm just gonna pop out and pop back in. I think that'll fix it.
Oh, we'll talk. Yeah, that's fine.
All right.
Well, what are your we'll get into the picks and stuff like that. We got a lot of stuff to cover with two matches today for Crown Jewel predictions. We're gonna have one of the matches isn't very interesting too, Pat. Is just that we have a husband and wife match, and this is going to be interesting to see because I don't know if Kevin has put stakes on it, but if he has, one of the things he's been touting is that he will shave his beard off. Right? I'll tell you about their picks, but we'll see what happens from there. Other than that, what's your expectations of this pay-per-view?
Well, first of all, it sounds interesting. I'd like to see that the beard get shaved off. That'd be very interesting. I don't think I've seen him without the beard, so that is something I'd be interested in seeing there. For the pay-per-view, you mean the real life pay-per-view, you mean?
Yeah, talking about the
I want to make sure you meant the pay-per-view and not the matches. Or like,
No,
our matches. Okay, so the real life matches, actually, it's the best. It's probably the best, on paper, the best Saudi show they've had. It's actually, I mean, I don't know how excited you can get for these shows, but it's the most excited I've been for a Saudi show. The card's actually pretty good. They're really trying to go all out with this one, I think.
So, Drew, what's your expectations of this pay-per-view?
I have no expectations for this pay-per-view because I have no expectations for WWE. So, it's just not been my thing. As you can tell, I'm a new person now. No more.
Yeah.
Remember this? Oh, remember these? No, I don't do this stuff anymore. I don't care about that.
Yeah, but you and Maggie say a lot of stuff on the past Thursday show. That was awesome. Oh, yeah. Boy. And if anybody missed that, you have to see that, by the way.
I just remembered there's one very crucial thing. Wait, no, I'm sorry. There we go. Much better. And,
all right.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah. All right, bud. So why don't we get into the nitty gritty of this? This match is for one fall, a second time match, no time limit. Obviously, this is an important match. This is the last second chance match. The underdog originally who went against Maggie against Big Money Drew, who literally got 75% and got dominated by the King of All Worlds. The thing is, I want to say thank you guys for doing this. It's really an honor for everybody to be a part of this. That's for sir. One thing we can go from there is that we'll talk about the card top to bottom. The King of the Ring finals are, according to Fightful, haven't been announced. So I'll just give you guys, a pass on those two things. The Queen of the match hasn't been pretty much announced according to Fightful. I'll look up if they have, but we'll get right into Hell in the Cell, Edge versus Rollins. I know Drew has said he has no expectations of this pay-per-view, but what is the outcome on this match? Like, what do you guys expect out of it?
You go first. Go ahead.
Okay. I expect. Well, my pick is I predict Edge to win by pinfall.
Okay, why? There's got to be more to that than just picking it.
Okay. Because well, he needs to get his redemption for all the stuff that happened. Really, because it's this Saudi show and he's the legend, so they usually put over the legend. So that's the other reason for that. I'm expecting it to be a really great match, though. Brutal. There's gonna be weapons and stuff. I assume. The finish will involve something like that, some sort of. It won't just be like a spear, normal spear, probably. Well, it could be, but it'll probably involve something else.
Well, what about you, Drew? What do you think is the outcome of the Hell in Cell match between Edge and Seth?
Well, I just found out yesterday that this was a Hell in a Cell match. So that tells you everything about where I've been with WWE lately. This is what, the fourth Hell in a Cell this year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny. But apparently there's no TLC, but they do chairs and all that stuff all the time. I haven't been watching SmackDown, so I will say I did see like a week or two ago when Seth broke into Edge's house. That was a very good segment. I enjoyed that. Because of that, I too pick Edge to win, because Edge, like Pat just said, he needs to get his redemption, because Rollins won the last match between them, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
Madison Square Garden.
Yeah. So it's 1-1. Edge has to get the upper hand. He's got to get the victory here.
I think for me, though, Edge will win, but I think Seth is not going to let it go. As much as this is supposed to be the rubber match between the two, they're actually going to try to stretch it one more time. And then I'll have something like a caveat where they get a shot at Roman. But the other match, Kevin and Teresa both agree with you guys. They say is going to be Edge but they say by pinfall. But Teresa even added a note saying she really has no idea to the end game is this with this feud, but she's rooting for Edge most of the time, and so hopefully he takes it with a pin. It's really one of those things that it could go either way, but I think Edge pulls out and they try to pull something different. What's up, Pluggo? How you doing, bud? It's just going to be a fun match just to see. Yes, it's the fourth TLC match, but I mean, what can you do, right? Goldberg versus Lashley. There's a lot of things you could say about this match. I don't know where this lies on the contract spectrum with Goldberg, but Drew, what do you see Lashley doing in this match? Do you see him doing what he did at SummerSlam, or do you see him pulling out the victory like last time with Gage interfering?
Oh boy, how the almighty have fallen. I predicted this weeks ago before I wasn't able to make regular appearances on Rookie Crazy Pinfalls anymore. I thought that it was going to be Goldberg winning the WWE Championship. But I was almost right. So, hey, I'll take a little victory. Yeah, I see Goldberg's going to win now because there isn't a title involved, probably. And whereas I had originally thought that Goldberg would win because there was a title involved. But now that I'm seeing what they're doing with New Day, and Big E in particular, because New Day, that's not a thing again after it's been a thing for a few weeks. Goldberg. I don't anticipate Sunberg getting involved, but you know, they like overbooking to shit, so probably he will get involved.
Yeah. What are your thoughts, Pat, on this match?
There's no doubt in my mind Goldberg's gonna win. My friend just rolled his eyes. I feel the same way. I'm just glad it's not for the title. I'm very glad it's not for the title. I'm done
Me
with
too.
Goldberg being in the title picture. We got to stop that. Of course, we know that's Big E's dream match, so that's a concern now. But we'll get to that when we get to that, unfortunately. But I definitely think Goldberg's going to win for sure because of what he did to his son. I do think his son's going to get involved because I think we know when he goes to Saudi, he brings his wife and son with him. That's been documented already, and now he's already gotten involved in this feud. So I would imagine his son will get involved in some way, especially since there's no holds barred, so he can interfere in some way. So I would imagine he will, and Goldberg's gonna win. But the real question is he gonna kill him? That's the question.
I think that it's going to end up in a weird situation where like Goldberg wins it, but I'm hoping I'm wrong. I think Gage will intervene in this, but if anything comes about it, I'm going to go against the grain. I think Lashley pulls it out because they need to do something to make Goldberg a lot stronger. And like Aaron said, you know, he hasn't won a match since the Fiend last year. So, I mean, if you're going to give him a shot, you know, and eventually give E a shot for his match, that will probably happen at the Royal Rumble. I can see that down the line. But I think I'm going to go against the grain and Lashley's going to win. But again, you know, Kevin and Teresa basically said the same thing. I know it's Teresa, but still it's husband and wife in this match. Both say Goldberg should win. And it's interesting that you guys are going against the same grain on the same card so far. E versus Drew, that's going to be an interesting match. I think for me, obviously E is going to win, but I think it's probably going to be the most physical match he's had in a while. So, Pat, where do you think this is going to end up?
I agree with you. I think E is going to win by pinfall and retain. If for no other reason, because Drew is on SmackDown now, so that's reason enough. And I do think it's going to be a great match, a physical match. I agree with you there. And I'm very excited for it. I think this is going to be a huge match for Big E, even though he's champion. I guess he's always had big matches since becoming champion. But you know what I mean. A big pay-per-view match in Saudi for Big E.
What are your thoughts, Drew?
It's kind of obvious, which I think Aaron just put it perfectly. Big E will win. It is too obvious because it's Big E, and they're not going to bring the WWE Championship over to SmackDown where the Universal Championship is. So this is just a foregone conclusion. Big E is going to win.
For me, it's like he's going to win, but it'll be the most physical, and Drew will give it to him. A great match. I think it might be the match of the night for the most part. But again, like you guys are like all dead on with each other. E by pinfall, Kevin says. Teresa says the same thing, you know.
Are we supposed to be doing pinfall or any of that stuff?
You can if you want to. It's just extra.
The previous time, so I figured we had to again, but I don't know.
Well, I mean, Tad's on hiatus right now until the 2nd, so, you know, me or Anakin have to pick up the slack, and I'm not that good as Tad is, obviously. So have a safe trip, by the way, Tad. Hopefully you're doing okay. Raw Tag Team Champions, RK Bro.
Wait, I'm sorry. So are you saying that I should expect a screwy finish in this time?
I'm cutting it straight down the line. I'm the proprietor. I can't do anything in this thing. You got to remember that. I'm not the one who lost at 100, man. Like, It's interesting now that we have a triple threat match now going on in the next round because Jensen and JPJ got 100 too. So, but this is going to be a fun match between you guys, and also a husband and wife match. You didn't expect that. But RK Bro versus AJ and Almost, we've seen this match multiple times, multiple variations on Raw. Pat, where you see this going?
I see RK Bro retaining. I guess if we're going to get into specifics, I guess I'll say Randy Orton pins AJ Styles.
That's interesting. So where you see this going?
I don't see Omos losing yet. It'd be a surprise if Omos got pinned. Although, based off the Randy has been teasing facing him, so I guess that wouldn't be that big of a surprise. But I'm gonna say AJ gets pinned, so that Omos doesn't. Yeah. I mean, we've seen it a lot, like you said, so we pretty much know what to expect from it.
What about you, Drew?
RK Bro is the tag champions, right?
Yes.
What has Randy kind of been still doing that I don't want to be around Riddle stuff?
Half and half.
Yeah, kind of half and half.
And AJ and Omos were drafted to Raw, right? So they're going to be
on Raw. Drafted to Raw.
Okay.
All of them.
I'm going to go RK Bro. I kind of could see a little bit. I feel like it's too soon for them to split RK Bro, because that was like, for the last month of me covering Raw and Cage Side Seats, that was like my only saving grace for watching Raw. So everything else sucked. But I think that I would keep it on them for now and start teasing dissension for like the Royal Rumble. So I'll say RK Bro win.
Yeah, it seems like all four of you are agreeing in the same match too. Even Teresa said RK Bro. That's going to be interesting to see how that goes.
Well, you see the problem. The problem with this is not that we have all of the same answers. It's that all of the answers are obvious.
Yeah, for the most part. But a lot of times, you take a second guess, and like the triple threat matches and this stuff. I'm going to take a swerve about it, and will be one of the highlights because Crown Jewel always has an interesting matchup. Mansoor versus Ali. I mean, by the way, for my pick, it'd probably be AJ and Almost. Maybe just run that back and maybe start the split right now and work your way up, because we also have Survivor Series and stuff. I think Ali takes it here. Mansoor, I don't know if he's undefeated at Crown Jewel. But
even I know that.
Well, I'm not perfect. Come on now. I mean, look what happened Thursday when the conversation we had on Thursday. That's enough said. But what do you think, Drew, this is going to happen? How do you think Ali and Mansoor are going to end up?
I think it's exactly the way that it's been predicted so far, is that a group that everybody was really into suddenly had to split because the Saudi Arabia show is coming. And where did they get Mansoor from?
Yeah.
So he needs a big win for Saudi Arabia. So Mansoor is my pick.
What about you, Pat?
My pick is definitely Mansoor. There's no way he loses. And if he was going to lose in Saudi, they wouldn't have him lose to Ali. That wouldn't be the one they chose. And I do think that they're going to, it doesn't really have to do with this particular prediction, but for this match we have, but I do think that that they're going to magically rekindle after this. We're like, Ali's going to, once he loses, he's going to, because he's been saying that when he wins, then Mansoor is finally going to realize what he's been saying all along. I wonder if it's going to be the other way around, where Ali loses and then all of a sudden he realizes, all right, maybe I've been wrong all along, or something like that. I don't know.
It's going to be like a respect earned type of a victory.
Exactly. That's
Yeah.
what I think. That way they put them back together. Yeah.
So Kevin and Teresa are the same thing. It's both going to be Mansoor anyways. I guess I'm against the grain on a lot of the picks. You know, I did get one time that Otis was going to win Money in the Bank, but that was a long time ago. So I looked up some of the matches. The Queen of Ring, it's either Dewdrop or Blazer. Everybody's going to take Blazer on that one, I bet. I bet you two are in agreement on that. But do you really think in that instance Dewdrop actually has a shot?
You know, I got to be honest with you. Joel Pearl on Twitter, he's been saying this for a little bit, and I kind of agree with him that Dewdrop could end up getting the victory here, only because it's Dewdrop, and Vince has never seen anything really in Shayna Baszler. So I'm feeling like, I don't know. This is one of the more difficult ones for me, because I do think the obvious choice would be put it on Shayna Baszler, because it's Shayna Baszler and she really does deserve it, I'd say. But anytime Shayna Baszler has been in a position to really get the rocket strapped to her, snip, gets cut. That kite goes away. It's like, that's it. It's over. So this one, I'm going to think about this one. I have to think about this one a little bit more. So, and trust me, Pat's decision is not going to affect my decision. So, okay. Pat, I want to hear what you have to say first.
Well, first of all, I have a bit of an maybe unpopular opinion here. I think that, first of all, I want to clarify that the so you guys know, the winner of Dewdrop and Shayna in the finals and on the Crown Jewel faces Zelina Vega. I actually kind of think Zelina should win the whole thing, but she's not going to. So I'm gonna pick. Okay, so all right. Well, if Shayna faces Zelina, that's heel versus heel. It's kind of tough. I think I'm still gonna pick Shayna because it's kind of the obvious pick. So I guess I think I gotta go with Shayna. I think she is gonna end up winning it. I think Zelina should win it. I think Zelina as the queen would be very interesting, but I don't think there's a chance that Zelina wins this thing.
Who does Zelina face?
Zelina in the semifinals already beat Carmella, so she's in the finals already. So Dewdrop and Shayna face each other on tomorrow on Raw in the semifinals, and the winner faces Zelina. And then in the King of the Ring, it's the King of the Ring won. Finn Balor's already in the final, and then on Raw, it's Xavier Woods versus Jinder. The winner gets Finn in the finals in Crown Jewel. So that's what that is. So it's Dewdrop. Dewdrop and Shayna is actually the
wow.
So you're picking Dewdrop to win to win both? Makes sense.
I don't know about both.
Okay.
But I definitely pick her against Shayna. And I'll tell you why. If that's the case,
then I definitely think Zelina should win.
And I agree with you there. I'm picking Dewdrop because they want, and I don't want my decision now to change anything, so I want this to be locked in, because I can definitely see the Hogan Andre moment. This is gonna be like it's the big Saudi Arabia show, and you got Dewdrop and you got Zelina. And this is a literal, in a sense, Andre Hogan moment. And Zelina doesn't have one win since she's returned, correct? Or no, she has the
well, now she does.
Yeah.
She's. but no big win.
Yeah,
Well, I
that
guess these
doesn't
are
change.
big
That
wins,
doesn't
but
change. It doesn't
yeah,
change my opinion because
right.
Zelina pinning her Andre is a crowning moment for this queen's crown that they probably think is going to be the most amazing thing, even though they fucked up this entire thing the whole time. So I picked Dewdrop.
Wow. Holy
And then
crap.
Zelina
All
over
right.
Dewdrop then.
Well,
So your pick for
is
Crown
that
Jewel is Zelina then.
Yep.
Okay.
okay?
Mine's Shayna, I guess.
Because so you think Zelina is going to win the crown, the Queen of the Ring, and you say Shayna.
I say Shayna, but it should be Zelina.
So Teresa was indecisive. She said either Dewdrop or Blaze. Shayna, if one of those make it through. But she, of course, Kevin said there. Obviously, Drew's the odd person out on this one. So we'll see how that pans out. It's always the one match that you guess and you think, and it goes the right way, and then the next one doesn't, which will be the King of the Ring. So you mentioned and touched on it, Pat. Who do you think is the King of the Ring champion out of this?
I mean, it should be Xavier Woods. I mean, come on. It's got to be Woods. We need King Woods. He's said it all along. It's his dream, literally his dream. That's all he wants is to be the king. I think it should be Woods. I'm going to give it to Woods. I think they should give it to Woods. Of course, I'm worried they're going to have Jinder beat him because, the heat he'll get for beating Woods. But yeah, I guess I'm going to go with Woods, I guess. I think Woods deserves it. I think he should get it. It's what he wants. So I think Woods should get it.
What about you, Drew?
I think I have to pick what should be the right thing because I've already gone against everyone else's picks with Dewdrop and Zelina, so I have to go with Xavier Woods here because Xavier Woods deserves it 100%, and I kind of worry that it's not gonna happen because this company sucks. This company sucks. And they like heat. They love heat. So, Jinder, even if it's not Jinder and Xavier goes to the finals, I've seen that they've stopped calling, or for the last match at Extreme Rules, whatever Extreme Rules was the last one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
At the last pay-per-view?
Yeah.
Yes.
They weren't calling Finn's demon the Demon King. So I feel like they could put it on Finn for that reason. And Finn, I mean, as much as Xavier deserves it, Finn, I think, kind of deserves it too.
Oh, yeah.
But in my heart, I'm a New Day fan for life. So I have to go with Xavier Woods.
I also want to point out, I'm happy you brought up the New Day. The other two members, Kofi was champion. Big E's currently champion. We already discussed him. Xavier hasn't had his big singles moment yet. This could be it. King of the Ring. This could be his moment.
I think it's interesting because Kevin and Teresa said the opposite of it. Well, she said basically Balor wins by submission, but Kevin agrees with you guys looks like he picks Woods as the champion coming out of that match. So we got two more matches on this card. So far, it seems like it's heating up. I'm going to save the women's match last because I think that's more important because with the state of wrestling it is, women's wrestling is important. A lot more important than they get their due and stuff. But the WWE Universal Champion, Roman Reigns versus Brock. I'm not going to pull the Paul Heyman kind of thing. I don't have the pipes for that. So, Pat, where do you think this is going?
You had to come to me first on this one, huh? All right. This is so hard. Because I just feel like something is coming with Paul Heyman. There's some sort of swerve. There's something they're going to do. I feel like it's not going to be. I don't think it's going to be one and done. I don't think this is going to be Roman pins Brock and now we're done. I don't think that's going to happen. I do think Roman. I'm going to pick Roman to win, but I don't think it's going to be over. And I don't think this is going to be it. I think they're going to do another. They're going to continue this thing. I think, but I'm going to pick Roman to leave as champion, one way or another.
What about you, Drew? This is kind of self-explanatory. I mean, if the reports are correct.
I don't even know what the reports are, but I'm going to say, my former tribal chief, I pick him to win here, but I would actually love. I think Brock winning would just be absolutely insane because it's not the way that I would have. It's not the way that I would have seen Roman losing after all this time, but. Man, the discourse online would be amazing, wouldn't it?
Especially on the Thursday night show, on that we would literally go ham on that stuff.
So I do pick Roman to win, but boy, that's another one that's got you don't know. It could go either way because, like I said, I haven't watched SmackDown, but I do know that they're teasing this Paul Heyman being, there's something about it. I've liked how it's been going, but it's been making Paul look a little stupid in my mind because, like, you should be so clearly saying, oh, this is definitely not something that's going on. Brock is just playing mind games, and I'm not actually, like when. I like the lore, as we like calling it, the lore of the bloodline storyline. But like him, Roman being like accusatory, and then they show Paul just like with that like, no, nothing's going on face, but he doesn't actually say anything, and the camera cuts to something else, and we just move on from that segment. I've been kind of like done with that stuff. It's just like, let's get to the real stuff. Is it happening? Is it not happening? Say yes or no. And honestly, and I don't remember who it was that said this. Maybe Sean or Joel on his podcast. It's not doing Roman Reigns that many favors because this whole thing is. He's the tribal chief and he's the head of the table and he's the top guy and, he's supposed to know everything that's going on. So it's kind of, I feel like if Paul does swerve and align with Brock and Brock wins, as much as I am a fan of Brock winning too, it kind of diminishes the head of the table stuff a little bit because, he's the top guy right now. So he's supposed to be in the know, and he knows everything that's going on. No moves are made without his approval. And I kind of feel like they would start making him a little bit babyface with that. And I don't think he should be babyface anytime soon. So that's my long-winded approach of just saying Roman's going to win.
Yeah, everybody agrees in this one. Roman. I heard some things, probably not factual, so don't quote me on this, that they originally planned this to go all the way to WrestleMania. If that's the case, that I'll be the one that breaks all of it between the four of you. I think Brock wins and makes Roman go paranoid without having it, makes him really dangerous. And then since there's no TLC and we got Survivor Series, you got Brock versus E, and then you go from there.
Sounds fun.
And that would be like literally an insane match. So
our last match, Survivor Series is, brand warfare and all that garbage. Even though, the draft is going to take effect like literally a month before that, which is kind of strange. But
and Brock Lesnar's not even on a brand. It's a free agent.
I think what's going to end up happening is that it's going to be Roman versus Big E, and that's the match. I think because what I have this still, I believe I still have it pinned as my Twitter. Yes, I do. August 31st of 2020, over a year ago, I said that Big E and Roman Reigns should be the main event of WrestleMania next year, which would have been this year. But I still think, in my heart, Big E needs to be the one to dethrone Roman.
Yeah,
So-
I believe that, but I think if you push it back and let E lose the title and win the Rumble at that point, you have something special you could do. But we'll see. But I think I will just, I'll just stay with Brock in these matches and stuff. But we got one more match to go. The triple threat match for the SmackDown Women's Championship. I think because of the way the draft landed out, I think I'm going to go against the grain, and I'll give you guys my pick first. I'll be a homer. I'm going to keep Sasha and have her have the titles and have Bianca chase after Sasha, which would be interesting because then you can add like Flair or Bailey should be back after the Rumble. So there's multiple angles on this one. So where do you guys take it from there?
They're all on Raw, aren't they?
Sasha
No.
was drafted to SmackDown. The other two were drafted to Raw.
Oh, okay. And this is for the SmackDown tag.
And
SmackDown.
Becky is the
champion.
SmackDown Women's Champion, and it's for her title. Yes.
Wait, there's no Raw.
Charlotte's the Raw Women's Champion, and she was drafted to SmackDown. And Charlotte's defending tomorrow against Bianca Belair, who's on Raw. So that's going to be interesting.
Oh God, this is so convoluted and confusing.
It is.
Okay,
is
so there's no Raw. So the Raw
Raw is not involved in
Women's
this.
Championship,
Unless Charlotte gets
not-
added to it tomorrow or something. I don't know. But as of right now, it's just for the SmackDown Women's Championship. It's Becky, Sasha, and Bianca. And Bianca is challenging for the Raw Women's title against Charlotte in a singles match tomorrow. I don't know. Which Bianca should probably win because Charlotte's on SmackDown. So.
Okay, so Charlotte is on SmackDown, right? So right, 'cause they
She's going to be on
switched the-
SmackDown, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And Becky's going to be on
Shit,
Raw.
that is. Oh wow, my head hurts now. Okay, so Bianca, Sasha, and Becky are in the match.
Yes. And it's
Becky
Becky's
is the
SmackDown Women's
champion.
title. Yes. Becky's
The
on Raw.
draft takes effect after
Crown Jewel.
Crown Jewel, and Becky and Bianca are on Raw, and Sasha is on
Sasha's
SmackDown.
Yes. And Charlotte, the Raw Women's Champion, is going to be on SmackDown.
And is facing a Raw
Yes.
person on Raw tomorrow.
Who's in this triple threat match as well.
It's one big cluster huck.
Yes. I guess I'm going to have to go with Sasha because she's on SmackDown. I guess I'm going to go with Sasha, which is crazy because I never go against Becky, ever. Because everyone knows Becky's my favorite. She's my hero, blah, blah, blah. I never go against her, but I'm going to have to. I'm going to say Sasha wins because she's on SmackDown.
Drew is speechless.
I actually this is like this is one of those moments where you just stare into the light and you just have no idea what, because this is the most convoluted, crazy friggin' thing that they may have ever done, honestly. And they've done a lot of stupid shit, but this might be the cherry on top. It might be the cherry on top. Wow. So, and I didn't even know that the Charlotte Bianca thing was happening tomorrow. So,
Yeah.
I think I
Bianca
that
should win.
I was actually thinking that Bianca was going to win this match, but
She could, I guess. I think she's on Raw. I don't know.
you know what? I'm I'm going to be smart, even though more than likely the smart thing is not going to happen. But I am also going to say Sasha Banks.
That's the three of us. But on top of that, Kevin agrees with it. But here's the interesting part of the husband-wife match. Teresa picked freaking Belair, so let's see how that goes. That would create an interesting dynamic. And if you throw Flair into it, there you go. But that's about it for right now. We got these two matches in wraps. I want to thank you guys again, like I said, to be in this tournament. Let the best man win and see how everything goes. I mean, it's not Tom Hardy and Venom, but at least someone's going to win. But the thing is that this is all for good reasons and stuff. Check out last Thursday's show, by the way. It was highly interesting, highly entertaining, and it went a lot longer than usual. Oh, yeah. You're not the only one.
No.
Now it's just the turn where we're going to pivot for Crown Jewel and primarily talk about that on Thursday. But since, we're wrapping things up, Pat, tell them where they can find you.
You can find me on Twitter at PatMace98. That's PATMAS98. And on Instagram at Pat Mason with 2 N's.
All right. Drew, tell them where they can find you, my friend.
You can find me on Twitter at Big Money Drew, the best and worst place to be. And that's all, really, because I ain't anywhere else except for working crazy pinfalls every now and then. So we'll see what happens. I have my former protege here below. Didn't come to my defense, when I was getting attacked left, right, and center by so many people. And, I just lost my way. But I think I'll find it now when I beat you. So good luck.
This match has got a lot of stakes in it and stuff like that. Also, if Kevin did state that if he loses, he will shave his beard, I believe. I'm not 100% correct, so don't quote me on that. Thursday night, guys. Every Thursday night, 8:00. Wicked Crazy Pinfalls. Amazing people on that show. We had Maggie last week. Maggie actually threw a gauntlet to me to get Kate on, so I might just try, see how that goes. Other than that, Throwback 978, and then hit a like and subscribe on this and on the other content on that channel on Throwback 27 on YouTube. But also become a Twitch subscriber too. Help everybody down the line, because what helps these guys helps me, helps these guys, and we'll be able to do more of these tournaments, more of these fun things that around the way. Just do a good deed, pay it forward. Just enjoy your Sunday, and hopefully everybody's football team wins today, because my game's coming up. So
mine already lost. So
all right, guys, have a good night.